What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Outerhaven. And today we figured we would talk about something that is making the rounds right now, and that is Mortal Kombat 1. And seeing that how we're big fans of fighting games and also Mortal Kombat, we figured why not talk about everything we know about the game thus far, how we got here, and things we're looking forward to. So I am Keith Mitchell, and then of course that guy with the MK shirt on, well, he's Carl Smart,
You.
and he's a smartass.
Damn right.
So let's talk about Mortal Kombat. So we were having this debate on how we should start the show. So we're going to do it a little something like this. While Mortal Kombat 11 and after Mortal Kombat 11 and Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath are pretty much the big things here. There's a lot of things that happened prior to this that started Mortal Kombat 9, where basically Raiden sees his future self and he's being told that he must win the tournament. Not he has to win, he must win. And there's a lot of things that happen
Well,
there. Go ahead.
the keywords there being he must win, which Raiden misinterprets. He believes that instead of the outcome of the Earthrealmers, or in the particular case of the timeline that we had so far, Liu Kang being the original winner of Mortal Kombat, they believe that Raiden believes that Shang Tsung should be the one who wins, but later thinks it's meant to be Shao Kahn who wins, and just absolutely completely botches the timeline, just throws everything out of whack from everything we know in the, well, now 30 years that we've known Mortal Kombat. So that was 9, and basically the he must win Shao Kahn situation leads to Shao Kahn being encased in stone because of breaking the rules of the Elder Gods or something along those lines. It's been a long time since we've done that story, so excuse us if our memories are foggy. We're old men as well. We've been dealing with this for 30 years.
A lot of stuff.
And see, you know, both of us, if I had actually grown out my facial hair, I'd be looking like Keith White right now, you know, all the grey coming in from playing Mortal Kombat throughout all these years and trying to understand timelines. But then we lead into good old Mortal Kombat 10, which I just happen to have on hand here.
Look at you.
I know, it's almost like I prepared for this. Basically, Mortal Kombat 10 follows on essentially what Mortal Kombat 4 did, which was the rise of the Elder God Shinnok. Defeated by Johnny Cage in the beginning of the storyline. Then we get a nice little time skip where the invasion of Outworld that happened because of Mortal Kombat 9 is still continuing at the time. We're introduced to a whole heap of new characters. The only one I can remember is Cassie Cage, because that was the one that actually ends up being relevant to the story. Everybody else is like replacement characters for other people or whatever.
Don't forget Jack's daughter.
I did actually forget Jack's daughter.
Wow.
But then we also had like Kotal Khan and Aaron Black and a whole heap of other people. Again, I can't remember names off the top of my head. I think I should have a Wikipedia open because there's too many characters at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
There was a lot of bits and pieces storylines here, like Scorpion and Sub-Zero teaming up and sort of putting their past behind them in that type of thing.
I love that part.
Yeah, but it wasn't really relevant to the story. At the end of it all, it just ends up being a repeat of the Cage family being the ones who have this special ability to defeat Elder Gods, as Cassie ends up beating Shinnok, puts him in his place. And that sort of gets the attention of heading into good old Mortal Kombat 11 with Kronika, the mistress of time or whatever she wants to call herself, basically realizing that Raiden's screw up in MK9 has completely thrown the timelines out of whack from her original plans, and now she has to step in to correct the problem. We also have major deaths from MK10 leading into MK11 with Katana and Liu Kang being basically relevant as underground characters. Also them taking, I believe that they took over the Netherrealm, to which they became a threat, and Sonya and Cassie They're part of the American military division that is taking on out other world threats. And they basically start this whole invasion. Sonya gets killed. And then we get all this nice little timeline shenanigans where we get past versions of characters meeting modern versions of characters. Like Johnny Cage meeting his younger self, realizing how like arrogant he was in the beginning of Mortal Kombat.
So great. I mean, I'm gonna stop you right there. I know we're trying to get a recap and all this, but you have to remember Mortal Kombat has had such an amazing cinematic experience. When you compare this to say Street Fighter or Tekken, they have this down to a T. Their ability to tell amazing stories is bar none. And just right there,
they've been doing that since Mortal Kombat 2. That's the thing. A lot of people go, "Oh, not Mortal Kombat 9 is the first time we ever had a storyline in a fighting game."
No.
Mortal Kombat 2 actually had a storyline. It was following up Mortal Kombat 1 with Shao Kahn going, "Hey, I'm going to bring the tournament to Outworld to try and win it because Shang Tsung failed, and I want to make sure I merge the realms, so I'm getting involved in this thing." And it had outcomes from the first Mortal Kombat, like Goro. He was banished, so we had Kintaro come in from the Shokan clan to be the enforcer. We had the fact that Liu Kang was the actual winner of the Mortal Kombat tournament being brought across because he is now an immortal who has to continue on and keep winning. Leading into like Mortal Kombat 3, where there was a full-blown Outworld invasion.
Oh, yeah.
Mortal Kombat 4 brought in the fact of the Elder Gods and Shinnok and everything else. Mortal Kombat 5, which was Deadly Alliance, was a little bit of a weird screw-up where you had Quan Chi and Shang Tsung team up to take on everybody.
But that was so popular in the arcades, too. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Like, this was still during arcade times.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually Deadly Alliance was the time that they started transitioning from arcades to home consoles. And
3D,
even going even further,
3D.
3D, which was instituted in Mortal Kombat 4. We even had our first universe reset with Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which a lot of people tend to forget, which is like the largest Mortal Kombat roster ever, because it had practically everybody in there. No fatalities or anything fun, but we had that as well. And yeah, so Mortal Kombat's had a long story history, and it's not the first time that the timeline's been reset either. It's just that this time they had a full-blown story spanning over 3 games in order to do this reset. For those of you who still haven't finished Mortal Kombat 11, which you probably should before playing the upcoming Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
Beware, spoilers ahead. Obviously, we get down to a few of the Earthrealmers having to defeat Kronika in order to preserve the timeline or just preserve reality in general, because she was going to do a complete wipeout reset.
Now, as I think we mentioned earlier, Kronika, as they allude to in the game, this is not the first time that she's done this. They don't tell us how many times she's done it, but she's done it before because she's a perfectionist.
Yeah. So you could essentially say that the Mortal Kombat Armageddon reboot that was done then, which led into Mortal Kombat 9, that was the first time she's actually reset time. She just didn't get directly involved where she did in MK11 because, again, Raiden screwed up everything. Again, Raiden seems to screw up a lot of things, and for a god and the Watcher of Earthrealm, he screws up a lot.
I think he pays for it later on, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, he pays for it in I believe it's Mortal Kombat 11 and Mortal Kombat 4, technically. But so Kronika is defeated, and a part of that is that the crown that she was wearing, or the headpiece that she has on, is actually the controller for the time sphere thing that she has. So that gets broken, and then as she's defeated, a portal opens up, and Shang Tsung, in probably the best repeat of a role ever, because you got the guy who played him in Mortal Kombat, the movie in 1995, now playing as an older version of him in the game.
That was that was amazing.
He comes out and says, "Yeah, we need this crown in order to control the machine. Without it, it's going to go berserk and go kaboom."
Yeah, it was him, Fujin, and Nightwolf that came out.
Yeah. So they had to go for a quest into the past, which is Mortal Kombat Aftermath, in order to get a new version of the crown to bring back to the present day to keep the machine running. Of course, Shang Tsung being Shang Tsung, having an ulterior motive as he always does, and other fights and everything else. We get a bit of a head on the Liu Kang Raiden issue, which has been brewing since Liu Kang died once again in Mortal Kombat 10, becoming a Revenant. And they fight and everything else, and I can't remember much from there. I think like there's something that happens, Raiden dies, Liu Kang becomes the god of lightning and fire or something like that.
When Liu Kang is fighting Kronika, I believe, Raiden gives him his powers, and he becomes Fire God Liu Kang, and Raiden just becomes Raiden. He's Raiden now, so he'll be the guy who guides Liu Kang in his upcoming ordeals. He's an advisor to him now.
Yeah. And that pretty much brings, like, they obviously they get the crown, and Liu Kang is left to try and redo the timeline. But the thing is, that one of the big things with all the characters in Mortal Kombat 11, if you go through their storylines, they're all given the choice to either rebuild the story, the timeline as it originally was, or at least the MK9 version of it, or given a chance to do their own timeline. Which leads us into the trailer for Mortal Kombat 1, which Liu Kang has decided to do a new timeline with the same type of people in it, but he wanted to do it peaceful. Give everybody a chance to find peace. Everybody's happy. Everybody gets along type thing. But the nature of man takes over, and of course, being the violent primates that we are, obviously everybody's going to end up fighting. And at which point he's pretty much like, you know what? So be it. You're picking a fight with a god. Essentially, Liu Kang, by the looks of this trailer, he does what wrestling fans will know as a heel turn, turning into a bad guy, and basically says, "You are picking a fight with a god. So be it."
So, as Carl gave us that elegant, beautiful wrap up, everything leading up to Mortal Kombat 1, we got the new trailer, as Carl talked about. And there's a couple of different things here that I want people to pay attention to. Mortal Kombat 1, as they've been telling us, is a reboot of the Mortal Kombat gaming franchise. Okay, a legit reboot, because we've already talked about Kronika going back and doing things. But this is the first time that NetherRealm is like, okay, this is an actual reboot of the series. They teased us a couple weeks ago. They gave us a thank you video thanking us for 30 years of Mortal Kombat. And at the end of that video, you saw Kronika's hourglass and grains of sand falling down. And the last grain of sand exploded. When I saw that, I was like, hey, this looks like a new universe is being created. And then they gave us the time clock, or the clock skipping from 11 to 1 with that same image, or that same video superimposed over it. Like, okay, it's basically done resetting time. But as we talk about this, there's a speculation going around that I also want to talk about. But that's how we got to the Mortal Kombat 1. Now, there's a lot of stuff that they told us about this series or this new game. A lot of things we don't know yet. New fighting system. They haven't explained what it is. I'm hoping, and I know Carl may try to tell me that I'm going crazy, that this means they removed the block button.
I doubt they'd remove the block button, because the block button, well, even hopefully, yeah, I would like the block button to be removed. It has always been a pain in the butt in Mortal Kombat games,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see them removing something that was so pivotal to the control system that's been around since the original iteration.
I mean, they gave us the run button, and then I think they took that away when? That was not a
Oh
good
god.
that was not a good addition. Not at
I think
all.
I think they dropped that after 4, I think, if I remember correctly. But the thing that's got me about this new one, when you're talking control systems and everything else, is the introduction of what they're calling cameo characters.
Ah, yes. That's
These are assist characters that
mhm.
are going to either be offensive, defensive, or maybe even power up based, which reminds me very much of Marvel versus Capcom.
The very first one,
The
exactly.
very first one, where you would have an assist character who come in, jump in, do an attack, and then bounce out. Possibly the same type of thing happening here. You
And
don't know.
and it's worth pointing out when Marvel vs. Capcom 1, correct me if I'm wrong, you had to randomly select that character. You had no control. It was like hit the button and you get who you get.
It is random select except for specific secret characters that you
Yeah,
can hold down
you had to input
combinations
them. Hmm.
and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be as random with the cameo characters. I think you're going to be able to pick who you want to be as your assist character, because like they have specific characters named already for the cameo fighters, which I'm sure we'll get down to when we get down to the leaks that happened not
Yeah.
long after the initial trailer debut.
So let's talk about the returning characters. So we do know that Liu Kang is coming back. They haven't mentioned if it's going to be Liu Kang, regular Liu Kang, or Fire God Liu Kang. It'll be interesting to see if it's Fire God. Scorpion, Sub Zero, Raiding, Kung Lao, Katana, Melina. That's important because Kung Lao and Melina are from Mortal Kombat 2. And they're in the
And
reboot.
and technically Katana is too.
Yeah, okay. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, she's not Mortal Kombat 1 like you have listed on our website at this
I
particular
gotta
time.
fix that. Johnny Cage, which is a character we're going to talk about. Shang Tsung is going to be a pre-order bonus. We're doing this crap again. Hopefully, he'll be a character that you can purchase or unlock later on.
He will, but he'll be you buy him later. They did the same thing with Goro in 9. I can't remember who they did it with in 10 and 11, but they had a pre-order character for each one of those, and they cost like $3 after.
So those are the characters. Now we also found out that there was a leak thanks to Amazon Italy, who told us about the combat pack. I hate when they do that. And this will consist of 6 characters. Now we know these characters is Quan Chi, who you remember, Omni Man from Invincible, Ermac, Ermac has an interesting past. He,
Good old era macro.
yeah. Peacemaker from DC Comics, Takeda. What was he? 5?
Takeda, I believe he was 10, wasn't he?
Was he? What was Takeda? I don't remember when he was in. I got it.
Takeda was 9, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the father. This is the son. Excuse me.
Yeah. And Homelander from The Boys.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of characters.
That is 3 very interesting
Right?
guest characters, especially because 2 of those, Omni-Man and Homelander, are meant to be Superman parodies.
Right? And that's what I said. That's what I said in the article. I was like, these guys are super powered characters. They belong in like an Injustice game, not a Mortal Kombat game. Why are they here?
Yeah, exactly. Well, but then again, you have a look at Mortal Kombat 10 and 11. You know, you had guest characters in Mortal Kombat 10, like, or was it 11? I think it was 10. Jason Voorhees, you had Freddy Krueger in 9.
Oh, don't remind me. This is when they started doing dumb stuff. And I was like, oh, stop.
Alien, Leatherface, all them. They've all been in Mortal Kombat. So, but like you said, I think Omni-Man, Peacemaker, and Homelander, they belong more in an Injustice game than they do a Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah, they don't.
Very weird choices.
We'll have to wait and see.
But then again, we're also taking this from This was from Amazon Italy, I believe.
Correct.
And sometimes international markets don't get the correct information. They may have taken this as a part of rumors. Like, there's been rumors going around about Peacemaker and Homelander being in the next Mortal Kombat game for quite a while. So at this point, we take this as a grain of salt.
I think they corrected the page. I mean, they took down all the information. Maybe not. It's going to be interesting to see. But getting back to the leaks, before we talk about the Cameo fighters, we did mention Johnny Cage. And Johnny Cage is also mentioned as a cameo fighter. Now, as you mentioned, these characters may provide offensive, defensive, or some kind of support capability. We don't know. NetherRealm is not really saying anything. We speculated that, like I said, defensive, offensive, or support characters. But it did mention that Johnny Cage is one of the cameo fighters. So I'm a little confused. Is he going to be a playable character? Is he not going to be a playable character? Are cameo fighters actually going to be playable? What's going on here?
With Johnny Cage, it's going to be an interesting one because the Johnny Cage in question for the Cameo fighters is meant to be the Jean-Claude Van Damme skin.
Right.
A tribute to what was the original go behind Mortal Kombat was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be like Bloodsport originally with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And because Van Damme pulled the rights to his image out at last minute, they decided to turn it into Mortal Kombat. This is more like an homage thing. So it could be that just because this particular version is the Van Damme skin, they're treating it as a separate character. You could almost get away if you want to talk storyline type things. You say it was a stunt double. You know, Johnny Cage's Hollywood stunt double is Jean-Claude Van Damme. But it could also mean that we also get double ups of characters as well.
That'd be interesting.
So you could have like a classic Sub-Zero or a classic Scorpion in as a cameo fighter, as well as having them in as actual fighters.
That's true. That's definitely true.
All for probably $3 each.
You know, we gotta make that Warner Brothers money.
Gotta make that money.
We know PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X versions are coming. They'll be handled directly by NetherRealm. The Switch is getting a copy of the game from Saber Interactive. Saber Interactive is a great development company. They've done a lot of great stuff with the Switch, so interesting to see what's going to happen with them. PC versions for Steam and Epic Games Store being handled by QLock. They're iffy at times. They're very iffy at times. I'm not very confident with them, but we'll have to wait and see.
I'm actually surprised that NetherRealm is not handling the PC version. You'd think would PC be one of the main
lead platforms? Yeah.
Lead platforms that NetherRealm would be wanting to make sure that the PC port, especially because we've had some absolutely trashy PC ports of games in the past, that they'd want to be putting out something that's great from the get-go. So the fact that they're only concentrating on PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X version, well, X/S, I guess.
X's. The Xboxes.
The Xboxes is interesting to hear. And also, this will probably be one of the first games that I've heard of in quite a while that has gone no PS4, no Xbox One. You know, if you've got either of those, guess what? It's time to upgrade.
Yeah, it's one of those times where the older consoles are being left behind, unless you're the Nintendo Switch for some godforsaken reason. We won't go into that. We will not.
That's a completely different podcast.
Check out the Spectator Mode podcast, episode 135. We talked about the Switch, and 134 when we talked about the Switch. We talked about the Switch a lot. Yeah, it's interesting to see.
It's almost like we should have some sort of Nintendo podcast to cover some of that.
Maybe somewhere.
Oh wait, we do.
Yeah, check out the Nintendo Entertainment podcast every Thursday. They do a great job. But getting back to this, it's interesting that the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One aren't getting a copy or a version. It's interesting to see that NetherRealm is phasing them out. And this is going to be one of the biggest fighting games of the year, on top of Tekken 8, if it comes out this year, and Street Fighter 6.
Street Fighter 6. Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this decision is going to alienate the Mortal Kombat audience. Because not a lot of people have.
I don't think it'll alienate, but I think there will be a lot of complaints about the fact that there is at least no PS4 version.
Yeah.
You never really hear anybody go, "Oh, there's no Xbox One version. Oh, I don't like that." No, it's when there's no PS4 version.
Well, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Xbox One was not a good console, and it had a lot of issues. We'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Again, podcast for another day.
Getting back on that, like I said, we're just going down a list that we had here. They did say there's going to be new fighting game mechanics. They haven't mentioned what there's going to be. Of course, obviously, fatalities are coming back. There's going to be new game modes. They haven't said what they're going to be yet. They're just waiting. Interesting to point out that we do have several big gaming shows coming out within a couple weeks. The first one being the PlayStation Showcase, which is taking place May 24th. So maybe we'll hear something during that. If not,
May 24th, yeah.
We got the Xbox one come out in June. We've got Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest coming out in June. I think GameSpot also has one coming out in June. So there's a lot of stuff happening. Oh, and don't forget, the biggest fighting game tournament in the world is happening. EVO.
EVO's coming up, yeah.
So if we don't hear anything during those game shows, we will hear the EVO.
So. Well and truly. Mind you, it's always funny how it's like the three biggest fighting game franchises in the world, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken, all seem to try and find some way to coordinate releases within the same 12-month span. Because we've got Street Fighter coming up in June, we've now got Mortal Kombat 1 coming up in September, and Tekken 8, I don't think has a release date yet.
No release date.
But I reckon it'll be out by the end of the year. We'll hear something at EVO. In regards to a release date for Tekken 8, probably.
Given the fact that they have announced 12 characters so far,
they're getting close to a release date.
Yeah, they're getting close. Everybody's favorites.
Back on the blood and guts.
Oh yeah, back to the gore here. So we talked about the Cameo fighters. We talked about the fact that it's coming on Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, PC, Switch. We have a release date of September 19th, 2023. But if you pre-order the game, you get early access on September 14th, 2023, and you get beta access in August.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a reason to pre-order that game.
Yep, I'm looking at doing a pre-order as soon as I get some money. There
is 3 different versions of the game, or I should say 3 different SKUs. There's the standard game, which is available physically and digitally for all the platforms. There's the Mortal Kombat 1 Premium Edition, which is also physical and digital. That's like $110.
150 Australian.
Includes all the content. You get the combat pack. You get early access to September 14th. 1,250 Dragon Crystals, which is in-game currency, and the
that scares me.
The in-game currency.
We'll have to touch on the in-game currency after, but yeah.
And then we have the collector edition, which is $250. It only comes for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Will only be a physical because it also includes a steelbook, a statue that does not look very impressive, some stickers, and a bunch of other things that doesn't look very appealing.
Prints, etc. Some extra in-game currency.
Yeah, and it comes with was it 2,700 Dragon Crystals
total. Yeah, so an additional 1,450 crystals,
right,
to bring your total up to 2,700.
I am not very impressed with this statue of Liu Kang with the twin dragons, which looks like the same attack he used on Shang Tsung in the Mortal Kombat 1 trailer. It looks very bland. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not something that I'm overly impressed with either. Like, it really does. Even the photos that we got in the promotions, it looks cheap, small, and very badly made plastic.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Captain America statue you got with Avengers.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that was very poor. That's what that reminds me of. So, the only downside to it for me is, I have a fetish for steelbooks. So, if somebody's selling a steelbook, I'll buy it. Because I ain't buying this. This is terrible.
No, I've already decided I'm going to go with the premium edition.
Makes sense.
I'm happy just to get the game with the first combat pass of probably multiple, as they love to do multiple passes these days.
Yeah, I'll probably do the same thing. Let's
Yeah.
see what else we got here. Crossplay and cross progression will be coming to the game, but at a later date. They have not said when, but at least it's coming. The game will also use rollback netcode, the superior netcode. Thank you, NetherRealm. I don't
Yes.
understand why developers just. It's like a Western versus Japanese developer thing where a lot of the Japanese developers bring out their game without that, and then eventually they come back around and go, "Hey, we'll put rollback netcode in." It's like, just put it in the game. Why are we
Yeah.
fighting this? Just do it.
Rollback netcode should be the standard for every fighting game out
It
there, to be
should.
honest.
It simply should.
For online.
I'm not gonna explain why. There's a bazillion different videos on YouTube explaining why it is superior. Go check those out, and then you'll be happy that you did. If you don't already know what
Yeah.
it is. Man, we talked
But
a lot about this.
I will say as well with the online connectivity, also be aware that while there's the cross play and everything is possible, just remember, as per usual, you are going to need the relevant passes and subscription models that are needed for your individual console in order to play the game. Because they did in the FAQ that you can find on the Mortal Kombat 1 website, they did mention that while crossplay is possible, if you're on PlayStation, you are still going to need PlayStation Plus in order to play online.
Can't get rid of that. I'm sorry, folks. They're not doing what Xbox did and allow you to play online for free. Maybe you should go
Yeah.
yell at PlayStation.
Yes, please do. Please do.
See what we got here. We talked about pretty much everything. There was something that you wanted to circle back on. What was that?
In-game currency.
Yes. I'll let you
This
speak while I
is
drink.
this sort of worries me because they could do just about anything with this in-game currency. They could use it to unlock skins. They could use it to get different bits and pieces, sort of like the fight coins that you had in Mortal Kombat 5, not Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter 5, sorry. But it could also be they might be instituting a gear system again.
Oh no, not that.
For those of you who played
No.
Injustice 2, you will
No.
know the gear system and how
No.
much of a terrible microtransaction laden mess that thing was.
No.
If that gets included in this game, it's gonna hit a lot of people really hard. I don't play Injustice at all after I finished reviewing it purely because of the fact that you had to grind currency. There is currency. I know there's currency in the other games as well, and I don't play the main modes because I don't like the idea of having to grind currency or having to buy premium currency, which I'm sure there'll be something along those lines in there as well if they're putting any in-game currency in there that you can make in-game. It just, I'm sorry, I hate the fact that when I see in-game currency, the first thought in my mind is microtransactions.
I wish you had not said that. Oh God.
I wish I hadn't either, but
That's
like
terrible, man.
I don't want to have to go out and grind in-game currency for skin unlocks or something that I know that they're going to probably put up that you can get for $5.99 or something like that. If they're doing it sort of like they did with the story mode style, the Shang Tsung Island in Mortal Kombat 11, where it's like it's purely in-game, you can't buy it, then maybe like it's okay, I guess. Like they have some way to do those types of things. But and then the other thing with the unlocks, if we do have something like Shang Tsung's Island from 11, or even like the crypt from 10 or whatever, here's something I would like to personally say. Like, I know probably the chances of Ed Boon seeing this is very, very remote. But for the love of God, dude, don't do the jump scares again, please. They are annoying, they are horrible, and the ones in 10 where you put bloody spiders jumping at the screen as an arachnophobic,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was terrible, and it actually caused me to stop playing the game.
But please,
I had and then I find out that they put that in the actual fights themselves during Halloween. trying to take on Jason, and this this spider jumps straight at the screen like that.
That's not
and
good.
as an arachnophobic, I threw my controller across the friggin' room, almost broke it, and they're $100 a controller. And I shut the game off, and I haven't touched Mortal Kombat 10 since, because I don't want to have to deal with jump scare spider BS.
But
yeah.
I do want to say though, but if you are bringing back anything, and it's a reboot of the series, please bring back Toasty. I love that. Mortal Kombat 2. I love that so much.
Good old Dan Forden.
Yes, please bring that back. Please do not put that by the wayside. Bring it back.
It all depends. I don't know if Dan Forden is actually still with NetherRealm, because if you're going to bring him back, he'll have to be with the company.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if he's actually with the company at the moment.
So let me go back to something while you're doing your old Google food. There was speculation, as there always is, about these kind of games. And while we do know that this is a reboot of things, somebody was talking about that this is actually going to be both timelines. Remember, Shang Tsung...
Dan Forden is still with NetherRealm.
Okay. So
he still works in the sound department.
When Aftermath came out, there were two different endings. There was Liu Kang's, where he went back in time. He talked to the Great Kung Lo, basically prepared to him what's happening for Mortal Kombat 1, and that's where that was the canon ending for the reboot. However, somebody is also saying that, hey, both timelines are still happening. That Shang Tsung ending also is, hey, I won. I still have access to the hourglass, and I'm taking over all the realms. So that is something to think about. Or are we getting two different timelines? Are they colliding? It wouldn't be the first time. They haven't said anything. It's just something to think about. They haven't said anything about that.
All we have to go on is like a 2-minute announcement trailer, and
but those are the best things.
Everybody's like scaling that thing like crazy, trying to find like every hidden reference or detail.
Oh, please.
Or something like that.
Oh, yes. When I saw that grain of sand, I saw it explode. I kept going. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many realms were there? 1, 2, 3. I was looking. Trust me, I was looking as much as I could. So I love the fact that seeing the community is just trying to get as much information out of a 2-minute trailer as they can, because that's the cool stuff about this stuff. Until, officially they come out and say, no, that's not happening, blah, 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 blah. But of course, Ed Boon is such a tease. He's on Twitter talking to people about things, and you never know. Somebody might just get it right. He might just say, hey, you're right.
Oh, no, he'll never say you're right. He may say something like, you may be right, you may be wrong. I'm not telling.
Yeah, he's a cryptic guy. He's very cryptic.
He's sneaky, that Ed Boon. He's very sneaky.
But that said, we're at the end of all the actual official stuff. I'm glad to see that this finally happened. I mean, they stopped working on Mortal Kombat stuff back in 2020 after Aftermath, and they were like, we're going to go make a new game, blah, 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 blah. And everybody was like, oh, it's going to be
Injustice 3.
Right, everybody was like, Injustice. And I'm like, I don't want another Injustice. Injustice 2 was not fun. Put it that way. But I'm glad to see it is now Mortal Kombat 1, not Mortal Kombat 12. I'm kind of
interesting that they're going with the moniker of Mortal Kombat 1, because now we have Mortal Kombat, and then we have Mortal Kombat.
Right.
What is 9 but is titled Mortal Kombat, and now we have Mortal Kombat 1. So it's like we got.
So when you look back at our history, so which Mortal Kombat? What do you mean, which Mortal Kombat? Well, there was technically Mortal Kombat 1. Which one? Oh, that's a good question. Exactly.
92, 2017, or 2023? What one are you picking?
It's interesting that they went ahead and did this. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Even if I fell off playing Mortal Kombat, I didn't play as much as I play Street Fighter. I'm a Street Fighter guy for life.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to this. Just, if anything, the storyline, the cinematic gameplay. Oh my god! Like I said, they were such masters with their craft with this. I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, they have done amazing things with storyline, especially the introduction of the storyline mode itself being a cinematic experience, it's going to be interesting to see what NetherRealm comes up with, especially a clean slate in this regard, because they don't really have to follow anything from the past games or anything like that anymore. They have a whole new universe that if they want to change something, they can do it. And you know, their reasoning could be just cause. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing how they bring these cameo fighters in and how that mechanic works. I'm interested to see also the idea, because they're going to put in more characters over time. Like let's be honest, the Fighter Pack 1 that they're releasing the game with, that's only the start of it. I reckon there's going to be at least I reckon there's going to be at least 2 more after this one. So we're going to have Combat Pack 2 and 3 easily. It's going to be interesting to see how they bring the characters back, if they have reasons for it, or whether it's just they're wanting to expand the roster. And then there's always the glorious of who's the next guest character.
But you're not thinking about this on the global scale, man. We're going to have an Omni-Man versus Homelander.
Yeah, and nobody ever thought we'd see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Injustice 2 either.
I mean,
and
but
then
this is
Hellboy and Jason Voorhees.
This is a fight that people kept
and
speculating on forever. Who's going to win? I mean, obviously, Omni-Man is stronger than Homelander, but trust me, you're going to be seeing people going left and right. All right, let's go. You're going to see that every day for forever, because this is happening. And you know somebody in other rooms going.
It's like they'll always if they really want to like mess people up with guest characters. Okay, Ed, we know you got contacts with DC, so bring in Superman so you can make that 3-way fight happen: Omni-Man, Homelander, and Superman. And then just to really screw everybody up, go to Japan, go talk to Toei, and get Goku.
Oh, let's not do that.
A realistic Goku dropping in the Mortal Kombat.
Let's not do that. Sir. No, that's too much.
That would be the killer when it comes to guest characters. That'd be the we're done. We've just hit peak meme.
Oh man, yeah. But I think that is it. You know, from 2 Mortal Kombat fans just geeking out, talking about Mortal Kombat 1. We're looking forward to playing the game when it comes out in September and beta access in August. I'll be over that. So looking forward to it.
We'll both be all over the beta content.
Yes.
Checking that out, just like we did the Street Fighter beta content and the Street Fighter demo and everything else that we can get our hands on. Because if we can find a reason to beat the crap out of each other after knowing each other for what, nearly 10 years now, Keith?
11.
We'll find a reason.
You're old. It's 11. You're old.
I look younger than you, at least.
The wife likes the salt and pepper, so I can't get rid of it. All right, folks. That's it. Thanks for checking out this episode. We have no idea. We're just 2 guys talking about fighting games here on the Outerhaven's YouTube channel. As always, if you like the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment in the comments. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. As always, I'm Keith Mitchell.
And I'm Carl Smart.
And we'll see you guys whenever we make another video. Thanks for watching.
Mortal Kombat!
I am totally leaving that in there.